It all began over 500 years ago, when the world was vast, mysterious, and uncharted. The oceans were unexplored, maps were blank, and the idea of America didn't exist yet. It was the late 1400s, an age of adventure, when kingdoms fought for gold, glory, and God. In 1492, a man named Christopher Columbus, sailing under the Spanish flag, set out on a daring voyage across the Atlantic Ocean. He believed he could reach Asia by sailing west. But destiny had something else planned. After months of fear, storms, and endless sea, he finally saw land, an island in what we now call the Caribbean. Columbus thought he had reached the edge of Asia, but in truth, he had discovered a new world. This was the beginning of a story that would change human history forever. Soon, explorers from Spain, France, England, and the Netherlands crossed the ocean too, searching for wealth, power, and opportunity. They came to trade, to conquer, and to claim. Native civilizations like the Aztecs, the Maya, and countless tribes across North America had lived here for thousands of years, with their own rich cultures and deep spiritual connections to the land. But their world was about to collide with the unstoppable force of European expansion. The 1500s and 1600s became an age of colonization. The Spanish built empires in the south, from Mexico to Peru, while the English began to settle the eastern coast of what would become the United States. In 1607, the first permanent English settlement was founded in Jamestown, Virginia. It was not an easy life. Starvation, disease, and harsh winters claimed many lives. But they endured. Then in 1620, a group of English religious refugees called the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth, seeking freedom to worship their own way. Their story of survival, struggle, and faith became one of the first chapters of the American dream. Over the next 100 years, 13 British colonies grew along the Atlantic coast, from New Hampshire in the north to Georgia in the south. Each colony developed its own identity. Farmers, traders, craftsmen, and dreamers built towns, schools, and communities. Yet they were still subjects of the British Crown. The colonies paid heavy taxes but had no voice in Parliament. The tension between freedom and control began to grow, quietly at first, like a storm gathering far away. Then came the spark. In 1773, angry at unfair taxes on tea, a group of colonists disguised themselves as Native Americans and boarded British ships in Boston Harbor. They threw 342 chests of tea into the dark waters, a bold protest known as the Boston Tea Party. The British government was furious. It sent soldiers, closed ports, and demanded obedience. But instead of fear, the colonies united. For the first time, they began to see themselves not as British subjects, but as Americans. By 1775, open war had begun. The first shots were fired at Lexington and Concord in Massachusetts. The shot heard round the world. Farmers and blacksmiths stood shoulder to shoulder against one of the most powerful armies on earth. It was the birth of the American Revolution. A young, determined general named George Washington took command of the Continental Army. With little money, few weapons, and almost no training, these rebels fought for something larger than themselves: liberty. In 1776, the dream of freedom was put into words. On July 4th in Philadelphia, Thomas Jefferson and other founding fathers signed the Declaration of Independence, a document that forever changed the course of history. It declared that all men are created equal and that every person has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was an idea the world had never seen before. A country built not on kings and bloodlines, but on freedom and human rights. The war was long and brutal. Cities were burned, thousands died, and hope was tested. But with determination, alliances, and the help of France, the colonies finally defeated Britain in 1781 at the Battle of Yorktown. 2 years later, the Treaty of Paris officially recognized the United States of America as an independent nation. The world watched in awe. A new country was born, a nation founded on ideals of liberty, democracy, and courage. But freedom was only the beginning. After independence, America faced the challenge of building itself from nothing. The people wrote the U.S. Constitution, creating a system of government by the people, for the people. In 1789, George Washington became the first president of the United States. He led with honor and set the tone for a nation that would grow stronger with every generation. From the discovery of the New World to the signing of the Constitution, the story of early America is one of courage, faith, and destiny. It's a reminder that history is not just a series of dates and events. It's the story of people who dared to dream, to fight, and to believe in a better future. And that's how America began, from explorers and colonists to rebels and founders, from an idea in the hearts of dreamers to a nation that would one day change the world.